Well, I am finally back on a big bike, and I must say it does feel good. But I will also say that this last week the weather has been absolute shit. It has literally rained all week, non-stop, every single day. And normally I will commute on a bike. Yes, I have my car, but I do like to commute to work on the bike. And I'm normally in the office 2 days a week, sometimes 3 days, 4 days, even 5 days in a week. So I will commute at least 1 or 2 of those days. But I don't mind admitting that last week I did not take the bike to work at all. The weather was so bad that I just took the car. And the thing is, for those of us that are fortunate enough to have cars, sometimes when the weather is that bad, I do ask myself, what's the point in taking the bike and getting absolutely drowned on the way to work, when actually I could just take the car, stay dry, stay warm because I've got a heater, etc. And you know, if that makes me a fair weather biker, then so be it. So yes, last week I was a fair weather biker, and it took me back a little bit to the days when I first started biking. Because when I bought my first bike, when I first bought Rafiki and I got him home, I had no intention of ever riding in the rain or the wind or blisteringly cold weather. It just wasn't my thing. And for the first year of biking, I only did 1,000 miles in a whole year. And the second year I only did 500 miles. Simply because I was a fair weather biker. But these last couple of years I've been biking in all weathers. Rain, the cold, the wind, monsoon rain. I'm actually not on my own today. I have 2 people with me, and that last turn is pretty terrible because it's uphill to the right, more than a right angle. And we're all back together. Yes, with me today I have my son on his Lexmoto LXS, and I have my friend Spider-Man on his 125, which is nice. It's nice to actually be out riding with people. As much as I am a bit of a solitary rider, it is nice sometimes to have people with you. So what was I saying? Yes, I've ridden in torrential monsoon rain. And when you've got the right gear, there's a little bit of a smugness to it, because you might be getting completely drowned whilst you're on the bike, but underneath your gear you're actually nice and dry, and you get home and you're nice and dry. But last week did make me think, do I miss being a fair weather biker? Like, is it worth being a fair weather biker? And I don't mind admitting that at the moment I can see both sides of it. Riding in all weathers, naturally you're on the bike more, and that has to be a good thing. But at the same time, being a fair weather biker means that you can simply enjoy your bike in the best weather. And I have a friend who is talking about fixing up his bike, but he's talking about fixing up his bike, getting it back on the road, but only using the bike at the weekends and in the nice weather. And I think he's got a point, actually. Yes, I do think he has a point, because as much as I don't regret riding through the winter, there is something quite pleasant about just getting your bike out when the sun's out, or just getting your bike out when it's dry. But I guess everyone's got their own measure. Like, I don't mind riding when it's cold. I won't ride if it's less than 3 degrees because it gets icy. But as long as it's dry, I'm quite happy to ride. Who knows, maybe I am turning back into a fair weather biker. I do think it has its merits. You do ride less when you're a fair weather biker, but it definitely has its merits. And then riding in all weathers has its merits as well. So, having had a week as a fair weather biker, do I think, having been a fair weather biker for a few years, and then having been an all weather biker for a few years, and then just for a week being a fair weather biker, I was in the office 4 days last week, took my car all 4 days. So having done that, what do I think of it now? Personally, it is a very personal thing, and it is always going to come down to personal preference. I have nothing against anyone who is a fair weather biker. People who took their bike away in October, get it back out in March, I have no issue with that. Used to be one myself, so no hate. It is personal preference. But what do I think now, having done both? Being a fair weather biker last week, I loved it. Yes, I didn't have to get wet, I didn't have to get cold. I got to stay dry in the comfort of my 24-year-old car, which probably isn't that comfortable by modern standards. But I don't regret it for a minute. But of course, you absolutely do get far more biking experiences when you are an all-weather biker.